Hey kids, John here. This is part 2 of my series on the Earl D Irons 27 Groups of Exercises book. Again, I apologize. The audio is not that great, but I felt that this was a very honest exploration of how I approached the book, and it might be helpful to some. So I think that this concept of shapes is a very important thing. It can help us make this motion that we're making up and down. So I'm going to play the last exercise in group 9. So that low C is popping out, and it's because I'm opening up quick and getting back up to the top. It's like I'm bouncing off that note and springing back up. So I'm not lingering down there. My goal isn't the C. My goal is to spring off the C. I don't know how else to make this statement, but that's my note that I'm setting for, the G. So I just want to grab that note and get off of it. I'm throwing that note away, but it's popping out because I'm making sure that I get that open. But I get it open and get back where I need to be. Okay? I'm bouncing off that bottom note, and it turns this into this beautiful shape that is, and it's like it's almost like you're bouncing on a trampoline. That feeling of buoyancy that you want to have as you ascend. So I love Irons because in group 10 he doesn't let us get ahead of ourselves. What he's done is he's challenged us in different ways to get all the way up to a G. Now he's adding the flat 7th at the end of this exercise. But note how he himself is starting in the middle. On this exercise, this is the genius of Irons. He's not starting you at the bottom, he's starting you here. And this way you have half a chance of learning how to go up and down. I do it twice through at 90. So this is very much me and a side technique. So let's say that you're a student that is struggling with that flat 7 when you get actually to the B flat in the open position. So that note, that happens, okay? But you can play the B flat if you're just playing it. A lot of students will go, and they'll tongue it, and then a little extra explosion of air, boom, there's the note speaks. Because now the tongue is moved, and the explosion happens, and everything sets up in the right position after the tongue flicks and makes the explosion. So this is where I would bend. So that exercise, let me expand on that. So when a student does hit that plateau where they can't slur up, so I'd start on the top note, bend down slowly, just to get used to that bend, and then take this exercise and do the trampoline thing. So you bend down till that note just starts to speak and you pop back up right away. And then you smooth it out. After that's been accomplished and they're comfortable doing that, you have them go back and forth like the European siren, and then ultimately and you see the motion. You have them do it quickly. If they can do that quickly, that'll happen. Okay? That's the bending exercise that I would use to learn how to get to the upper note. Make sense? You start out slow just to get the bend, then you do the trampoline, then you even it out, and then you make it fast. Group 11, 120, 4 times through, that's what I do. Okay, so now he's challenging us. He's making us go from the bottom to the top. But what do we know? We know that we're not setting for the bottom. So where are we setting? In the second group of 4/8 notes, you're setting on that note there. Not down here on the first note, but you're setting on the 5th note. That's where your set is. So not, but there. Okay? So, okay? Very important. 1 through 5, piano. After that, mezzo piano, maybe mezzo forte. We haven't gotten to kind of a loud yet. The only loud we got is in number 3 because of the crescendo. So all these, again, steady airstream, but boom, get that set in the right place. All right, so I've been playing mezzo piano-ish. Now I'm going to go to mezzo forte because I'm going to go ahead and add just a teeny little bit more element of breath support because I'm going to move faster and I want that ascending scale to be faster and smoother and lock in quicker and have that motion of and have that motion be pronounced because of the speed in which I'm playing it. You can hear the slight crescendo as I go up to the octave, all right? And that's what I'm talking about, mezzo forte, and that top is a little bit more supported because I want to feel that ascension and crescendo and great support as I do it, and then a very smooth overall exercise at 142 3 times. Okay, so we saw in group 12 that he goes back and forth, wow, wow, wow. That thing. He's doing back and forth. That's training you to go up and down. It's a genius exercise. And so, in my opinion, from group 1 to group 12, where we get the 2 octaves in play, the full 2 octaves, I feel like that's the halfway point. Really. That to me is where you're halfway. You've made it halfway through the book. Going into 13, we'll talk about that a little bit now. 68 in 1 4 times on number 13. This is all about that shaping concept. Because if we're going to take it quick, we don't have time to be trying to figure out all these positions. So it's that kind of idea that you're just going up and you're letting the overtones pop out as you change the motion in a sweep up. Okay? And then you have to turn it around. That. Okay? Becomes challenging, but this to me is a very important exercise to learn how to shape, so you may have to take a little time on 13 and get it under control. So I go ahead and play the open position. In this exercise, we start to learn that things are actually really close together as we get to the top of the staff. On 13, I play his tag like this. Just extend it a little bit, challenge myself. So here we are on group 14. He starts adding accents, and he wants to have it help us as a player. I think it does at slower speeds, but once you get it to faster speeds, it starts to become cumbersome. Okay? I think it's unnecessary. I think what we need to do is figure out how to shape it according to the speed we're playing it. Ooh, watch out. 132, 4 times. So you can shape it a couple different ways. Make music out of it now. Whoa. No longer an exercise. It's a song. Okay, group 15 and 16, watch out. You can get too spread on 15, and on 16 you can just go down in flames, period. So take your time with them. There's no heroics here. It's just a very good exercise in breath control, bringing you back to home base again. He likes to wake you up and go, oh, you think you know something. Okay, here we go. 15, no tempo. The idea is as steady as you can get it. These two exercises will eat up time. They will take time to do, because I'm going to play the next part by resting that long, and I may need to rest more in between each note. Okay, 16. Yeah, no. Again, I'm not going to exhaust all my air. I'm not going to be a hero, man. I'm just not going to throw myself on that minefield. The idea, again, is just to make the crescendo decrescendo. Take your time in between notes, moving up in register. I'm not going to worry about elongating this. This is hard enough. There's no need to do that to ourselves. All right? I'm just going to get in soft, get my crescendo, get my decrescendo, have everything as controlled as I can get it, and then I'm going to move on. Now that he's run out of things to tell us about playing flexibility studies, he's telling us to play them in tune. Okay, so now I think what he's saying in a way is make it more musical. Let's make these more musical. He's added crescendos. He's got an accent on the top note. It's a shape up and down with a little wave and then back up and down and then a little wave and then back up and down. And I think that's a great way to learn these. I'm doing 92 4 times. I think that once you've got this under your belt, keeping it a little bit more even makes it more pleasing. So learning to kind of control that decrescendo up to the top note a little bit more, have it feel just a little bit more even, I think is a great way to play this. This concludes the second part of my exploration into the Irons book. Please go ahead and take a look at part 3.